Now we're on to Time of the Doctor. Wow, this we haven't done Day of the Doctor because I'm going to do that at a later date next year. So because I've got a lot more videos to come and plans, so we're going to leave that to another time. But yeah, let's talk about Time of the Doctor. So it's just after Day of the Doctor. He's quite known that his death is coming and stuff like that. So he's quite darkened a bit, but also upbeat, comedic as Matt Smith is always is. Yeah, throughout the era, from the very first, the 11th Act, where science will fall when the question is asked, he's been destined to die from his first regeneration episode. The cracks are leading into his demise. From the very first season, from the very first episode, he's been destined to die, bless the 11th Doctor, you know? That's such a thing to happen. But yeah, it was a good concept art throughout that made it into a good demise. Now, originally, Matt Smith was meant to do Series 8, and um, Stephen Moffat, was meant to slowly make this all build up and happen in one series, but 11 said, no, I'm going to go now. And Stephen Moffat had to do it all in one episode, so that's why it's a bit not the best regeneration story. But if you enjoyed it, fair enough. But it was a lot more rushed. Moffat planned a whole series and he did it in one episode. So you got to give him credit when credit's due. Obviously, we had it having to be Christmas, so we had Clara and her family being Christmasized. We finally see Clara's family. I think that's the only time we see Clara's family, apart from Series 8, where we see her granny again. Other than that, we don't see Clara's family anymore, which makes her less relatable. We have this family arc from Russell T Davies' era, and we only get to see a little bit of Amy's family, which is a bit weird, and it seems she's the main one. And then we have Rory's dad, which is lovely to see, and then we only get him for 2 episodes. So Moffat's family demise of characters haven't gone that well. And even Bill, for her foster mom, we didn't see her that much. So the family arc throughout Stephen Moffat's run hasn't been the best, and especially for Matt Smith's era. But anyway, we see her, and then we have a little scene where the Doctor's meant to be. He's got his hologram clothes, so only Clara can see him with clothes on, and us obviously, so they're not going to show us him naked. And then, but Clara's family can see him naked. We have that little sketch thing. Then we have a fake boyfriend moment, and a dumping moment was quite interesting to see. But then now we get into the action, and we realise we're on a planet now with a signal that all these monsters, the Daleks, all the creatures that have faced the Doctor before are here to find out this signal. What could it be? It's like the Pandorica all over again. And the Doctor gets down there and he realises it's on Trenzalore. Before that, the mainframe or whatever it is, Natasha Lem, her religious mainframe of some sort. She is basically, it's got this religion and head of the planet and whatever else, and she lives forever, and she's maybe a Time Lord. She died several times. Obviously she's a Dalek, but before that she died several times, so she may be a Time Lord of some kind of ability. Or there's another race that can change their face, which we've never known about. Yeah, she realises it's a new incarnation for 11, but it's not. He's had this for a while and he's going to regenerate soon. We also see that concept between Natasha Lem, and she's the one that blew up the TARDIS. She's the one that set the cracks. And the silence, she created the silence. When the Doctor reveals he might say his name, she gets scared and makes the silence come for him in Series 6. And for Series 5, she makes the cracks. So she's been setting this arc up. So she's the big threat in some way. She's a psychopath like River. She's very River related. And yeah, shame we didn't have River for 11's last story. But I guess Natasha and them was that concept. Then we have Clara being sent back home a couple of times, which was interesting. And she hanged on to the TARDIS. Captain Jack hung on to the TARDIS in Series 3 and died. So how did Clara survive? But oh well. So she froze and hung on to the TARDIS, got back to the Doctor. Then he sent her home again. And then Natasha Lem sent her back to say goodbye to the Doctor. So she'd been back and forth home and in emotional state. Joining that, we have Handles, this funny little comedic robot Cyberman, which we grow to love. We grow to love Handles, which was quite nice. and then obviously when he dies, it runs out of spare parts and slowly turns off. It's quite sad to see, but we also have the comedic moments when it sends the Doctor into Dalek shit and the Cybermen shit, which was quite interesting to see. And Handles throughout was a nice, interesting canine dynamic with the 11th Doctor, sort of. We have all these monsters taking threats. We have the Sontarans with a clone feed, shield, and then they get blown up. Then we have a wooden Cybermen, which is not a good idea, I don't think. And then we have the Daleks taking even Natasha Lemon and exterminating. Then they take the main front of the episode and the Daleks start trying to blow up the place, and then the shields are down and then they're going to kill the Doctor. We have the Doctor obviously helping the city, and he stays there for generations, and we have all these Barnacle as a little kid, and then we have a different person who looks like Barnacle, and the Doctor gets confused because he's an old man. Now he's forgetting stuff and he's not the best abilities. Then we learn about this nice scene with Clara and 11 talking about regeneration. 10 kept his face twice. The War Doctor, Captain Grumpy. 11 is the last incarnation. He isn't just the 11th Doctor, he is the 12th and 13th Doctor, with regeneration cycles, because 11 kept his face twice, and the War Doctor builds him up to the last Doctor. He can't regenerate anymore, which gives you an explanation about Series 6 when he tries to regenerate, But yeah, we'll let them off because we didn't have a War Doctor back then. Continuity gone wrong, but oh well. You can't hold Doctor Who with continuity, you just have to go with it. We see 11 and him facing off and having nice dynamics with these people. It's a truth field, so he can't reveal. The crack is there for the Time Lords to know when it's safe to come out, and Doctor's got to say his name, and he can't lie because he's in the truth field, and making him have to say the truth. And Clara might fancy a Doctor. It was a little reference from the truth field, and I thought that was a bit, no, we've had too many people fancy the Doctor, let's have a mate. And obviously it does combat mate when Peter Capaldi arrives. So that dynamic. Then we have Matt Smith growing old, and that performance, I think he does a really well performance. I think Matt Smith's given it his all. He loves that little stick he's flicking about the place as an old man. That was quite fun to see. And then when he's really old and Clara says goodbye to him and he's talking to Barnacle when it's not Barnacle, and then the Daleks are blowing up, he's given up. He's more looking like the first Doctor, which was the idea. Him looking like the first Doctor sort of position. And then slowly getting up the stairs and Clara trying to get all the people to safety. And then the Time Lords, and Clara persuades the Time Lords to give him another set of regenerations. So now we don't know how many regenerations he got. He could live on forever now, or he could just have the normal set of 12 again. But either way, Pete Capaldi's kind of the 14th/12th Doctor/first Doctor in a way of this new cycle, if you want to count it like that. But anyway, 11 thinks he's going to die, then the Time Lords give him a new set of regenerations, and suddenly 11th Doctor's getting cocky, an old man flicking about the place and regenerating and blowing up the Daleks with this massive new regeneration cycle, and the energy's so big. But then it changes back to 11 when he's young. Clara runs off to the TARDIS. The phone's on the line, leading to Series 8 was quite a clever little dynamic, and will later pay off in Series 8 with the phone call. Clara puts the phone back in the TARDIS. Then we see all these clothes on the floor, fish fingers and custard, references from the 11th Doctor's era, all in one. And then, then we get, there's a nice scene with Barnacle hanging on the TARDIS at the bottom when he's sending Clara back home, later on in the episode. And then the little boy's like, I'll wait. That was a nice reference to Amelia Pond when she waited. There's so many references to 11th Doctor era in this. There's no point in me giving it all. But then back to the regeneration. We see 11 and his imagination's going wild now. We have all these kids' drawings of all the adventures he's had. And we have Amy Pond saying goodbye to him. Good night, Raggedy Man. And then he says goodbye to Clara, and Clara doesn't want him to change, and then he says it's okay, and then he changes, and I'll always remember when the Doctor was me, and changes like a sneeze. It's not that big explosion one, he's already had that. He just And then we have Pete Capaldi looking and confused, and that massive eyebrow moment, and yeah, and he's like, goodness, I don't have the colour. And then we go off and he doesn't know how to control the TARDIS, and the TARDIS goes off as he usually does with a massive controlling explosion, and then crash lands. So yeah, that was Time of the Doctor. Really enjoyed this story. And Pete Capaldi is my favourite Doctor, so we're off in a good start now. And yeah, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's a regeneration story, so it has to get big marks, and it's a big, grand story. It's not the best regeneration story, it's probably the worst in New Who to date yet. My opinion. But yeah, really enjoyed the story. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and check out Series 8 next week, where I'll be talking about Pete Capaldi's era. Also, I've got a video coming in a couple of days talking about 11th Doctor's era. And then check out, if I haven't already, Series 7, because I just did that last week. Anyway, see you guys soon. Comment, rate, subscribe.